Thank you. Ranking Member, Mr. Chair. Mr. Bean, real briefly, if a sports book fails to protect consumers or prevent insider betting, do tribes and state regulators have the ability to investigate, to fine, and to revoke a license?
Thank you for that question. Yes, we do. We have regulations in place that have been scrutinized by the National Indian Gaming Commission, scrutinized by state gaming commissions, and our own gaming regulatory bodies within the tribes.
Okay. We've seen recently very egregious acts of insider betting in prediction markets. Most recently, the president's teleprompter technician placing $100,000 in bets on Kalshi on his speeches. Is there any established oversight and safeguards for accountability for prediction markets like what tribes and states currently have for gaming?
We don't see any safeguards in place. As you heard today from the testimony, the CFTC is short-staffed and lacking in resources, so they simply don't have the regulatory system in place. They rely on these prediction market companies to self-certify.
Mr. Kennedy, briefly?
Yeah. Yes, as I mentioned in my remarks, that exchanges are self-regulatory organizations. They're not just free enterprises. They're like FINRA in the securities market and the NFA in the futures and derivatives market. So they're regulators. And in fact, that exact violation that you're mentioning was found by Kalshi. They surveilled it. They had systems that found
Mr. Kennedy,
it.
respectfully, I have a couple of other questions. I do believe you can put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. You can even AI that pig. It's gambling, it's gaming. I know you've got different lanes, like the types of golds and how you're trading and for what purposes and what not. But I think at the end of the day, we're talking about gambling on a sports event here. Mr. Bean, I do want to just continue off of that line of questioning, though. Tribes have invested, and states have invested significant amounts of resources to social welfare programs to combat, problems with gambling, consumer protections, responsible gaming. How has these event contracts and the rise in prediction markets undermined, quite frankly, the ability for you to enforce your own gaming laws, to be able to actually have these programs be to the benefit of community and people? It's almost like they acknowledge double standard right now. How has that made you more ineffective in some of these social welfare programs and your ability to, quite frankly, to enforce those gaming laws you have on tribal lands?
Thank you for that question. Tribes and states have, under the regulatory framework of the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act, tribes and states have negotiated compact agreements to regulate activities like prediction market, illegal online sports betting, undermine our tribal sovereignty, state sovereignty, and those very agreements in place that were designed to protect the integrity of the game, to protect consumers, to prevent against underage gambling, to promote responsible gambling. And you had the question from the representative from Michigan, the CFTC chair, promoting lawlessness by advising these prediction market companies to ignore a court order. That is an example of how tribal sovereignty, state sovereignty is being undermined.
Thank you. And I just have a basic question, and it is connected to gaming and to prediction markets as well. For each of the testifiers here today, do you believe that we need to respect and should and must respect, especially as Congress and the federal government, should we be respecting states' rights? Yes or no?
Of course.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
I 100% agree with you. And in 11 states like Hawaii doesn't allow any kind of gambling at all. But 11 states specifically outlaw sports betting. What this is doing is creating an alternative, and it's been marketed, by the way, so you can talk about how it's a different thing and it's a different lane, a different kind of gold. But we actually have prediction markets that have been, promoting this extensively, publicly, that this is an alternative to sports book. This is gambling at the end of the day, and this flies in the face of states' rights for states that have clearly said we do not want gaming, we do not want sports booking in our states. And I will just end it with this. Thank you very much for letting me weave onto this committee. Quite frankly, this is regulatory arbitrage. It's just creating a double standard. We have a higher standard for tribes and states that have taken the time and invested significant amount of resources to make sure that the ill effects of gaming do not fall on its people. And we have a self-regulatory system that, quite frankly, is a danger to our people. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Ranking Member, I yield back.